Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel's Making with Marilyn. Now recently on a Hotfix Rhinestone video, somebody asked me in the comment section, can you use those on wood? And I thought, why hadn't I ever thought about trying that? Well, I moved into this craft room 3 or 4 months ago, and then maybe about 10 days ago I put up my sign. But let me show you a little secret. So what I decided to do is cut a 5-inch round circle out of wood. Then I painted it with this key lime gloss spray paint, and I'm gonna find out if I can add rhinestones to it. So if you're interested in seeing if Hotfix Rhinestones will work on wood, keep watching the video. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting on? Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and then select the all notifications so that YouTube lets you know anytime I upload new content. All right, let's go ahead and put this question to the test. I have some blue zircon rhinestones. Then I put my circle after I painted it back inside where it was, and then I put it on with heat tape on the back. Now the reason I'm doing that is when I press my stones onto this, I wanted to have stuff around it to really keep my press even. So that's the only reason I did that. You don't have to do that. And then I cut out my template right here. Now after I get the stones in, I'll transfer them to my circle with this Hotfix tape. Now right now I see a problem because I'm using glitter cardstock since I'll only use this once, and it's curved up just a little bit. So I'm going to have to try to tape it down without covering those holes. If I don't tape it down, my stones are going to slide under the holes. All right, let's get these brushed in. My sign has been lacking its little centerpiece for a long time, so I'm glad somebody asked me this question because it really made me think about, hey, I can make a circle for between Making and Marilyn, try to get that thing finally done, and so I hope this will be the answer. All right, it's time to go ahead and pick these rhinestones up out of the template. Now I actually was considering moving the entire template onto there. I wondered if that would help with heat resistant on the paint, but I'm just going to go for it. So I'm just going to hold my transfer tape above it and lay it down gently. Now I've used this piece of transfer tape definitely more than one time before, so I need to make sure these are really adhered to it. So I'm pushing down pretty hard. Now I can see I'm going to grab some right there, so I'll go ahead and take those off. And then this is a small enough template I can probably get away with just pulling it straight up. If it's a really big template, what I like to do is just pull it back, keep coming, and then just lay it on its back like that. This one's small enough, I think I'm okay. All right, so I'm just going to center these as well as I can. And I have a couple here, they're kind of up on their side, so I'm going to go ahead and put those the way they need to be. All right, I think that looks good. So now I'm going to go ahead and go over to the heat press, and we'll just press this down and see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and follow the instructions that you use when you're putting this on fabric, because I know that gets the glue nice and melted. So I'm just going to stick with that. It's 350 for 12 seconds. Hopefully it won't melt my paint. All right, my heat press is up to temperature. My biggest fear is that the paint's going to melt. All right, y'all, I'm pretty sure that melted. I should have gone ahead and had my template on it or used different paint, but let me check it. So you see a little bit of that paint came up, but I still think it looks pretty good. All right, I started to move the camera and then I thought, let's just try a few rhinestones on a raw piece of wood. Okay, so here's my circle with the paint and the rhinestones on it. And you saw over there that a little paint came off on my Hotfix tape. So it kind of melted. Now I just spray painted this today. That could be a factor, or it might be the type of paint, but it did slightly melt some of it off. Now this still looks really nice, but I'm going to go ahead and experiment with some chalk paint as well. Now I'm not going to do this full thing because, like I said, I'm going to use this, but I'll put a little of this on some of the extra wood that I have, and I'll try that out. Then I also put it on this just raw wood, and those are stuck down really well. So I assume if you're putting it on wood, it's not going to get a lot of wear and tear, but I mean, I am really, really pressing on those, and they're not going anywhere. So they definitely work on raw wood. I'll try them on chalk painted wood, and then they did work. I just had a little issue with my paint. Now, if you're thinking about staining the wood and then doing it, I don't know that that would work because stain tends to have some chemicals in it that I think would make it harder for your rhinestones to stick to it. If anyone's tried that, let us all know in the comments how that went. Ooh, I just put that up against my sign and it is pretty. Now I need to put something in the middle, but I'm halfway there. All right, so I'm just going to dab a little bit of this chalk paint up here, and then I'll let that dry overnight. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Ooh, maybe I would like that up on my sign. But I'll experiment with it first. So I'll let that dry overnight, and I'll try to put some rhinestones on it tomorrow. Now here's what I have so far. Here's my original one. And even though, like I said, it melted a little bit on that paper, that still looks good, so I'm going to use it. Now I can see, let's see, right here, those rhinestones smashed down into the paint when the paint got soft. And so you can see the paint a little bit coming out. So then I decided I was going to paint something with chalk paint because I've had a lot of success sublimating on chalk paint with lamination film. It doesn't melt, and I don't think that's going to ooze out. This just has a very different texture than a spray latex paint. So I'm going to try that here in just a second. And then here's the stones that I put just on the raw wood. So let's run over, let's try this, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the word with in the middle of my rhinestones and get that hung up on my sign. So just like my little sample on my raw wood, I'm just going to put a handful or so of these on here. And again, I'll press these for 12 seconds at 350. Oops, my paper's flying off there. All right, those are on there nice and tight. And just like I thought, there is no paint oozing out. This paint didn't melt. There's none on my paper. Those look fantastic. So between the three things that I tried, raw wood works great. Chalk paint works great. This worked not as great. I would not go with spray paint again. I would probably go with chalk paint. So the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and glue down my word with, the dot for my eye, and get this up on my sign. So thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And until my next video, bye-bye.